In this video, I'm going to teach you my most visual magic trick ever. And the best part is, it doesn't even use video editing. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing good. And in this tutorial video, I'm going to teach you the trick you just saw called Zero Zone. The only thing you need is a camera, some cards, and a very special gimmick that I'm going to talk about in just a second. But first of all, happy Halloween! Carved some pumpkins the other day. We have this Harry Potter themed one that I'm quite proud of. But we also have this, which I think is better. This pumpkin. Look how cute that is. I love Halloween. It is the best time of the year. I probably shouldn't do that. I'll probably drop it. What am I even doing? In this video, like I said, I'm going to teach you a super visual trick. But I also want to talk about camera tricks and physical tricks and what are the pros and cons of each. Because the trick you just saw can actually be accomplished with video editing. In fact, I did it back in 2019 in this video, also a tutorial for Zero Zone using a completely different method. Because this one used green screen and video editing went into creating that magic and making it happen. The trick I'm going to teach today doesn't need any of that editing. But it does pose the question, why not use editing? Because I can, and arguably that trick looks better than the physical one I've come up with. Honestly, this is something I've said a lot in the past, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but I do think that editing is a totally legit method. As magicians, it's our job to use any means necessary to create that effect for the audience. It's not for us, it doesn't matter how it's done, the method is completely irrelevant. We can use anything so long as we're giving the audience that memorable moment of magic. So if camera tricks is a completely fine method, why have I come up with this? And honestly, it was just a challenge for myself. I saw that video a couple of months ago and I thought, I want to make that without the editing. And it's just a creative expression, a creative challenge to myself to try and find a method that works. I think the best way of explaining the trick itself is just by showing you the uncut performance where the illusion breaks down at the end, and I'm sure the magicians are going to absolutely love this. So there we have a full performance of Zero Zone, including that breakdown of the illusion right at the end, and I love this so much. I know some people might say, oh, Cavan, why are you ruining the trick at the end? You're giving away the secret in the performance, that completely ruins it for the audience. And I disagree, actually. I think just because I'm giving away the secret at the end doesn't mean that the effect is ruined at all. In fact, I think it enhances the effect. This is something I've done before in the past. I did it with a floating torn corner effect, which again is a trick that sort of fries the audience right at the end because they're left with an explanation. The card wasn't real the whole time and it blows their mind. More and more on Instagram and social media magicians, we're seeing a trend of revealing magic for entertainment purposes. And a lot of the time it's done really, really well. But you need to bear in mind that this doesn't apply to every single trick. In fact, I would say most magic tricks get worse when you reveal the secret. You know, the magic on its own is better than when you expose it for the audience. However, there are a lot of tricks now that when you expose the secret, the trick enhances. The trick only gets more entertaining for the audience. And I think this is one of them. And that is such an interesting sort of dynamic of not just staying between the lines with magic, of allowing your audience to peek behind the curtain. Because if what's going on behind the curtain is amazing, then why are you hiding it? So, I'm going to teach you the mirror version in this video. I've already spoken about the video editing one way back in that old video, so I'm going to explain the physical prop in today's video and exactly how to perform it. So grab yourself some cards, grab yourself a camera, and grab yourself a small mirror. Now, any mirror will work, a makeup mirror or any small reflective surface, but if you want the exact material I use, this stuff is great. You get a sheet of it when you buy it from cvn.cards, the link is in the description, and this stuff is incredible. It is flexible, it's durable, it is adhesive backed, so you peel away that white stuff, you can stick it to cards or boxes or your face, it really doesn't matter, and yeah, this stuff is great. I'm going to be talking about this in future videos because it has so many uses. This is the mirror material, link in the description if you do want it, and you're also going to need 2 extra little things. These are identical t-shirts. I have a bunch of these t-shirts. You'll see me wear these in videos all the time. These t-shirts are just white, and I recommend one plain color. So you don't want a pattern like I've got on at the moment. You want a plain color. One last thing, a pillow. Yeah, I'll explain that in a second. Here is how I'm gonna set up my shot. Setting up the shot is gonna be a little bit difficult, but once you've got it, it should be fine. Now, I'm gonna be using this tripod right here, and I do recommend getting a tripod. It does make filming in general easier, so if you do want your magic videos to look good, I really would recommend getting a tripod. But if you don't have one, that is okay. You can use your phone, you can prop it up on a shelf, anywhere that is sort of eye level or maybe a little bit lower than that, that has space below. You want lots of space below the camera, and that is where one of these t-shirts is going to be. I'm going to show you how to set this up. Alright, the first bit of prep is a little bit weird. You're going to want to take one of the t-shirts and put a pillow inside it, but keep the hanger on. Once the pillow is inside, you can put a safety pin in it, but what I'm going to do is just tie a knot. So this rather weird looking thing is going to hang on the tripod, like so, below the camera. Now with the camera set up on the tripod, the pillow below it, I've moved the light sideways. So if you have a lamp or if you've got light in the room, try and have that from an angle, because that's gonna look really, really good in the gradients. So when I hold it right here, it just blends in with the t-shirt so well, it's like camouflage. You add the card on top of it, and you created a really, really convincing illusion. Now you just need to play around with exactly where it is, so I think holding it about here looks pretty good. Now I can do the 2-finger convincer, which is where I hold it so that the illusion is perfect. I'm sort of doing the illusion right now accidentally, and I put 2 fingers and I just wave, like so. I don't want to hold because people might start to see something a little bit wrong with the illusion, but it really looks like there's a hole in that card. Then I do the illusion, I simply pass my hand behind, and we're pretty much done. You can break the illusion if you want to. You can show that it really is just a mirror, and that is a moment of amazement in itself, or you can just leave it like that. And if you want, you can dip below the level of the camera for just a second and ditch that mirror just below the camera. Remember, this is a trick for the camera, so use the frame to your advantage. That little ditch, by the way, just would look like this. So I convince, I do the illusion, then I ditch below the level of the camera, and I show that it's real. That's if you really want to convince people that this is a trick that just happened. This is for the camera, so what's outside of the frame, this ridiculous thing, if I just take it off, this doesn't matter. No one's ever going to see this. That looks so weird. That is bizarre, isn't it? This principle can also be used for cavoid, which looks like this. This card right here is completely solid, and all I'm going to do is pass it underneath this card with a hole in. And something really weird starts to happen. It starts to look as though there's a hole in both cards. Watch. You see, it looks like one card is melting away out of reality beneath another, which we know can't possibly be happening. And yet, somehow, it just did. That's cavoid, which you might recognize. I posted it on my Instagram and my YouTube quite a few months ago, about May time, and it was something I came up with at the start of the year and I really wanted to make happen. And I was so proud of the way that it turned out, and it uses the same principle because that hole on the card, again, doesn't really exist. It is a mirror. And all I'm doing is I have a set, basically, like a sort of backdrop of orange and green that is lined up perfectly with the mirror, so that essentially, from the camera's point of view, it just creates this really convincing, interactive illusion of a hole. That when you move it around, it changes color, and it's simply to do with the lining up of the colors and the mirror on the card. I mean, it's a simple principle once you know the secret, but it really is convincing. And this can be used for so many things. It can be used for changing colors. You know, if you move the backdrop rather than the card, then you can have a circle, like a sticker, change color on a playing card. The uses are endless. I don't want to get into them too much. I want to leave it up to you to come up with ideas using this principle. Again, if you want to have the exact material I use, it is linked down in the description. But honestly, I think that is it for this video. I hope you had fun learning this principle. This is something that I am really excited for you guys to go out and try. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to click the thumbs up button down below. Subscribe if you're new, as always, and stick around on the channel. If you like anything to do with magic, then you'll probably like my channel. And yeah, I think that's it. So I'll see you in the next video. Happy Halloween.